Hello and welcome back to the channel, and finally to the full electric Mini. Now this is something I'm personally very much interested in, as in Harry behind the camera, because we have owned Mini Cooper S's for around 5 years each, and I'm very keen to see if this is a genuine replacement in electric car world for the petrol equivalent of it. It's not perfect. A lot of the media and the people that have probably never driven it have kind of had a go at its range, but for me, I want a Mini first, range later. Is it the first hot hatch? I don't know. We'll try and answer that throughout the video. Normally at this stage, I'd have a look around the vehicle and then we'd take it on the road. It's a Mini, quite frankly. There's millions of them on the road. You know what it looks like. You've got a yellow Cooper S sticker there, or a badge should I say, and the grille is a fraction different, but essentially I think we've all seen this plenty of times before. You've seen this side a million times. This bit is slightly different. It's where you charge it. It's CCS, more on the charging speeds later on. And of course, this is only available in the 3-door version. I've got the 5-door because, well, it gives you more space in the rear and a bigger boot. So there's a little bit of a compromise there, but essentially it's a Mini. The clue at the back that it's electric is this, and that's about it. You do again have the yellow Cooper S as opposed to the red one on the petrol version. The one thing that I have noticed that does put me off a little bit over mine is it looks kind of like a Mini 1 as opposed to a Cooper S, because normally you'd have a different rear valance, and the exhaust of course would be sticking out the back, which clearly you don't need in this. It just looks less sporty without this. I wish they'd have put maybe some sort of, I don't know, think of something, maybe some aero underneath, something to make it look sporty. You know, like when you've got an exhaust up here on a sports car, they still make it look sporty underneath. I just think it's missing something. I don't know what it is, but yeah, again, it's a Mini, and in terms of the boot, it's the same boot, which isn't very big because it's a Mini. Clue's in the name. Right, let's have a look around the inside, which again, if you're familiar with the car, will be basically the same thing. Right, the inside, premium steering wheel, black gloss, it's going to track the fingerprints, reasonably premium materials everywhere, and the switches are pretty high end as well. I've got no build quality issues on my 6-year-old Mini, so I think that's okay. You've got this digital display, of course, which the older ones like, well, mine and Harry's don't have. This one's got a hood, which is an optional extra. Soft touch materials are kind of throughout. The centre console, in fact, let me just turn the car on, or Harry, because I can't reach. And this is obviously the iDrive, if you will, to control that. And quite frankly, I've never had a problem with this. It's nice and easy to read. And of course, it's classic Mini stuff, like your proper toggle switches and things like that, all buttons. There's no touch screen operation. You've got some more up here. This one has got the panoramic roof, which I do like, and it's a proper sunroof. It opens up. The glove box, why not?
It's the same.
It's not too bad, is it? No, and you can even get an optional glove box there, can't you?
You can, yeah.
Which you have.
I have, yeah.
Yes. So there's lots of different. Nice shirt, by the way.
Thank you very much.
There's lots of different specifications you can get in the Minis.
There is, yeah. Oh, you can. Well, they say, don't they? No two are the same.
Solid,
it's
but
expected.
Yeah, it's expected. It's not the best thing I've ever seen, and some people won't like it, but I do. This here is a place for your phone, but it doesn't quite fit your phone. These don't fit a bottle. I mean, they're just too narrow, but you do have cup holders there, of course. Yeah. And of course, if you've got the options with that, so you've got a bit of storage there.
I think you'll always have it like that.
Just to make it quicker, can you jump in the back and tell or show people how little room, obviously, the 5-door hampers that?
There we go. It's not too bad. Drinks holder there, 2 seats in the back.
So there's only 2 seats, there's not a middle bench, which is good. Leather. So would you say this is mainly kids in the back?
Yeah, I would say so.
Short journeys for adults, though?
Yeah, short journeys for adults. The fact it's not 3 seats in the back does make things a little bit easier.
What about the material quality on the doors and that? Is that a problem, or?
It's the cheaper sort of hard-wearing plastics, but...
Don't bother me.
No, the seats are really comfy.
Should we talk about the elephant in the room of the Mini, which we've kind of sort of touched on in the intro? Yeah. The range.
Yeah, it's in terms in today's world, it's not brilliant, is it really?
No. So even if you said 105, 110 miles, let's say, let's pick that, which is essentially the same as my 30 kilowatt hour Nissan Leaf that I spent 3.5 years driving around in, and then before that, a year driving around in a 24 Leaf.
Yeah, you did, yeah. And you coped?
Yeah, I've done probably 60, 70,000 miles in a car that does the same or less range than this.
Yeah.
Because, A, I didn't mind doing the journeys, and the long journeys.
Yeah.
B, they were very infrequent. And C, I had another car. So would you say that the majority of Mini drivers, or owners anyway, probably have another car in the house?
I think they probably do. Probably another Mini.
Yeah, but my point is, range is, I won't say relevant, but how often do you do above, let's say, 100 miles?
It's in one
a
go.
day, in a day, because you
in
can
a day,
charge
yeah,
at
you
home.
can charge it. To be honest with you, once in a blue moon. Maybe on a day like this, we're going to the seaside or something like that. Maybe. But in terms of 9 to 5 for work.
How far's, when you got seaside and back, how far's that?
Oh, probably just over 100 miles.
So worst case,
You'd
you'd
need
have
to
to stop
stop.
for 5 minutes,
Yeah, 5-10 minutes, yeah.
if that. Somewhere in between.
Yeah, which there would be, because there would be a motorway service.
Well, so
Or an Aldi.
no. So essentially, there's a slight inconvenience for 5% of your journeys, but the rest of the journeys are the same.
Yeah.
And like myself, you do a lot of miles for work.
But
Hell,
never over 100 miles a day.
never over 100 miles a day. But if you did, that'd be 500 miles a week,
That'd be,
which
yeah,
is a horrendous
crazy.
amount. So the whole purpose for looking into this, of course, is the fuel savings over the petrol Cooper S.
Yeah.
And that, for me, more than outweighs any inconvenience for 5% of the journeys.
With my Mini, I'm averaging, and this is over since it got last serviced, so maybe over the past 8,000 miles, 35 point something mpg.
And there's a lot of urban driving in that.
A lot of urban driving, but I
City
don't think
drive.
that's too bad for a 2 litre
No,
engine.
go, no. It is efficient for what it can do.
Yeah.
But then, the whole point of getting the Mini, for me, because I've got one, obviously, I've had one, you've got one, we've had one
You've
for
had one
years.
longer than me.
Yeah, it was...
We don't copy each other's cars.
It's the fun, isn't it?
Yeah,
The driving experience of a Mini is genuinely fun.
we were just chatting, weren't we? The Mini is the longest. Is it the longest you've had a car?
Yep.
Longest I've had a car. And I struggle to think what I would replace it with.
That's the only reason I haven't
Is
replaced
why
it.
this is.
Yeah. This, if it had a bigger range, would be a completely... It wouldn't be a Mini. And I think that's why people don't get it.
You'd have the weight, wouldn't you? I think?
Yeah. It would be so heavy.
Which is often what happens with all electric vehicles. You get in them, don't you, and you go, I can just feel the mass.
How many times have we said this car is too heavy? And even ones that are like the Mustang Mach-E. I know it's very different car, but ultimately quick car, performance-orientated versions. You can still feel the 2 and a bit ton.
Do you know what? You feel it working against you.
Yeah, exactly. And it's
not on the same side.
A massive compromise.
It
So
is,
for me, the range thing that Mini have gone for deliberately
which
is right. What's the most weight we can put in?
Make this a Mini.
Yeah.
Right, that means we can't make it heavy.
Right.
Okay, we'll make it a Mini.
So this is the most we can fit in,
Yeah.
and therefore the range, unfortunately, has to be 100, 110 miles ish.
Yeah. No, I think this does seem quicker. And I did get a little bit of torque steer there, which was pleasant.
I wonder if that's deliberately built in to give you that.
Well, it was.
that feel.
Yeah, it's kind of nice if you've got a front wheel drive car to have a little bit of torque steer, just to keep you active, doesn't it?
It's like the Matrix. You need a little bit of imperfection to make it feel real.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, if it was no torque steer or anything like that, it wouldn't be a hot hatch.
Yeah, it's better, but not as fun.
Yeah. I mean, it's incredibly quiet, isn't it?
Yeah.
I can't.
For a Mini, so.
For a Mini, yeah.
I mean, the interior's the same, isn't it? Does it bother you at all that it's not a ground-up EV? Because we often say that is a benefit.
Well, no, because in this car it doesn't feel compromised. My seating position feels like it does in my
It's
Mini.
the same position of the Mini.
Yeah.
Well, what we need to do is to find some of the twisty roads we're very familiar with,
And then have
and
a
that's
bit of
a
fun.
direct comparison to what we've done on a.
Well, just driving over this morning.
Yeah. Now the cost obviously is going to be more compared to the petrol equivalent, of course, but not massively. In
Not
fact,
a huge
I think
amount.
it's only a few £100 difference between the equivalent petrol Cooper S and the electric, and that's exactly what people want. Electric cars are always more expensive. Well,
you're
actually,
thinking, yeah.
I mean, you've got the range loss, of course, so it's not the same car, but it's a direct comparison. In fact, this is cheaper when you factor in the running costs.
Yeah, it is going to be cheaper, isn't it?
And how much are you looking for a brand new if you shopped around a bit for a level
They're
2?
around 30. I think once you spec one, probably the way you want it with the take the gloss off the front and the silver off.
Yeah.
I think they're about
all black.
Yeah, exactly. I think they're about 31 to 32.
Right. So
There's no deals around at the moment.
I guess Honda E or this, that's a tough comparison. You know, in terms
Both
of
sort of a similar.
they're both very
They feel very,
unique.
very different. This feels very more the sporty car than the Honda E. The Honda E is more of a
Concept car.
Yeah.
But it is bonkers in a fun way, isn't it? The Honda.
Oh yeah.
I do
Fish
like-
tank.
yeah. Now, shall we mention what you have also been looking at? 'Cause you are genuinely.
I'm genuinely looking at
buying
changing my vehicle. It's on the cards.
Yep. So
I'm not going to say I'm gonna, but I'm
Yeah.
looking, which is as good as saying I'm gonna.
So you're looking at also a used i3S, a BMW i3S.
Yeah, which is essentially the
Same
same,
sort of car.
ingredients but just cooked slightly different. The i3S certainly is. It's ground up, isn't it? Carbon fibre chassis. I think
one off.
Yeah, and the thing is, for me, as an engineering sort of
Yeah.
thing, it's far superior to this.
And a lot rarer in terms of there's lots of general minis around.
Yeah, and you get. I mean, I know a lot of people probably won't like it, but you get the range extender.
Well, yeah. When you're looking at the 110 mile version, the 94R of the i3S, then the range extender is it's the best hybrid. 99% of it will be used on electric and a little bit on petrol.
Yeah, that one time where I don't know, for whatever reason you can't charge or
Yeah, you get to a charger, it's not working.
yeah,
Which still happens today. I'm sorry, guys, it does.
you can just go, well, okay.
Yep. I'll go to the next one. So does it rob you a little bit of the challenge of fun?
You get, yeah, there's not that. It's just like driving an auto. The only thing you don't have is the changing down the gears for the corners.
Pop, 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 pop. Are you going to miss the pop pops?
I think so, but not as much as I would do if I was a bit younger. I think
Yeah.
growing out of them a little bit. Yeah.
I'll just do that in the back for you.
Yeah, I'll just sit somebody in the back.
Now, you can't get this in the 5-door. Does that put you off top?
I think if it was in the 5-door, it would tick more boxes for me, but my little girl's growing up now, so she sits in the front.
So that takes care of the day-to-day stuff, but what about when you're picking someone up? I mean, do you shove people in the back quite often, or is that quite a rare event?
It's quite a rare event still, yeah. It's Christmas and birthdays generally.
Right, so you prefer to go in the front entrance?
From treating myself.
Yeah. I mean, from the passenger seat, and I've been in the passenger seat of your Mini enough over the tops to know what it feels like.
This feels quick.
It feels the same to me, as in I'm getting chucked about as much.
Yeah.
Grip is equally as good.
I'd say so, yeah. We've got traction in sport mode. There's more torque steer now, which is good. I like it.
Now, effectively, this review for me is more of a comparison between the petrol, which we're both got interested in, more than a review of the car itself. Because let's face it, this car's been around a long time.
Yeah.
There's plenty of reviews out there, so this is more of a. There's not many people out there that can compare it against 4 or 5 years of ownership
Yeah.
of the same
Are we the
car.
best person to review this then?
I think so.
Why hasn't BMW given us one of these before?
I'm not.
Obliged to say, contractually.
Let's just answer it. Is this the same as the petrol Mini to drive? You're forgetting noise and stuff like that and gearing.
I would say, yeah. It does feel very much. It's fun. Do you know what it is? It's fun.
Which is the primary metric BMW have gone for?
Yeah.
On Mini.
Yeah.
It's fun. Range is a secondary consideration and a sacrifice to get the funness.
Yeah.
As I said, if this had 200 mile range and a lot bigger, heavier battery,
it wouldn't be the same car.
it'd be
would it?
wallowing all over the place. The braking won't be as keen, or it would spoil it.
It would, yeah. They've got the ingredients just right.
Yeah.
For a Mini, it's a Mini.
So when the next one comes out, where it'll be a bespoke, bigger battery, all that sort of stuff, lighter, that can counter some of that. It will get better and better, will the range, but it will still always be that Mini.
It will.
So it's got a purpose. And let's face it, how many people do over 100 miles in a day on a second car and be bothered?
It's not a thing, is
it? It really isn't a thing. And if it is for you, then, well, don't look at the Mini, quite frankly.
Dad reversing.
Dad reversing, yeah.
There we go.
Okay, big question. Is this a true hot hatch, electric hot hatch? For me, this is more of the old school, like your Clio.
Yeah, the 1.8.
Yeah, well, any RS sort of Clio, the Minis.
Yeah.
Fiesta STs.
It's of that, yeah. I mean, if this is against the Fiesta ST, the Mark 7, I think this would be it. It doesn't feel.
So you would say this is a hot hatch or a warm hatch? I mean, forget the speed.
Depends what you're
in terms of speed.
It feels like, in terms of the way it drives, it does feel like a hot hatch. There's a performance there. it eggs you on a little bit. It feels reasonably good in the corners.
And not to 30-40, it's probably as quick as a Golf R anyway.
Yeah, I would
just
say so.
because of that torque. Hang on a minute.
Brake
Let,
booster.
let me turn the air conditioning off.
Oh yeah, just make the best of it. Right, are you ready?
Going.
3, 2,
Two,
1,
one.
go.
Pushed in my seat a bit. 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. You have to slow down.
Yeah,
That is probably quicker than the petrol version, isn't it?
It
Just
is.
because you're going to have to at least change gear at
It
least
just-
once.
The thing as well about electric cars is, especially the Mini, it doesn't put all your power down all at once at the start.
Kinda bleeds it in.
bleeds it in, yeah, which means you get better traction.
So has this got literally one flaw? The range.
The range, I think so.
If this did 170 miles in the real world,
Even 140.
well, yeah, that extra bit makes all the difference, doesn't it?
That's what I've been told.
You know what?
It feels fast enough, but it doesn't feel dangerous.
But is it? And it is fun.
Yeah.
So I think that's basically answered the question that we tried to pose at the beginning of the video.
Mm-hmm.
Is it the petrol equivalent? Yes, it is.
Yeah. Is it flawed?
Yes,
Yes.
it is. The range is, yeah.
You can sort of park it anywhere. It doesn't look out of place anywhere.
Bit classless.
Yeah.
The reason why it's taken so long to get the car on the channel is because BMW don't seem to chuck out these as press cars, at least not to channels like my own.
And we did miss our BMW day because we both
Yeah,
COVID
reasons,
Yeah.
yes. So essentially, this is a dealer demo. So I want to say thank you to BMW Colne, or Mini Colne, should I say.
Who don't know we're doing this.
They don't know we're doing this, but this is a genuine
Genuine,
test
yeah.
drive because you are genuinely thinking about buying one. I would never get a dealer's car to do a test drive on because it's just wrong.
It's just rude, isn't it?
It is rude.
Wasting someone's time.
It is, yeah. So we're taking advantage of the fact that you are genuinely looking into one of these.
Yeah.
But thank you to Colin anyway, just in case they are watching.
And go, that's my car.
Yeah. So, do you know what we have done again?
What?
Podcast.
Oh yeah,
We do a podcast where we're literally talking about you getting into EVs.
we are, yeah.
I don't think it's gone out yet, but there you go. So just look for Driving Home, OHM.
Play on words there.
Yeah, very clever.
Yep.
On any podcast app, basically, wherever it is, Spotify, Apple's, Google.
It's on all the
It's on all of them. So listen to the podcast, and if you want, become a member, because EVG, EV Grandma has just reviewed the EV6, the Kia EV6. That's for members only. So there are benefits.
Fantastic review as well.
All for 99 pence per month, and you can cancel it anytime.
What else can you get for 99 pence a month?
You can't get. I don't even can get 99p flake anymore, as in the ice cream.
No, they're about £3, aren't they now?
Yeah. So there you go. Cheaper than an ice cream for a month's worth of
Entertainment.
Entertainment, yes. It's almost better than Netflix, but 1/13 of the price. So anyway, thanks for watching, guys. This is a Mini Electric. We're done. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Bye.
Bye.